Hello everybody, it is I, Beerus Ruticus, and I'm here with a video that nobody's going to watch, aka the objectively correct Lyrical Monasterio tier list. Spoilers, they're all garbage. The school theme makes Lyrical Monasterio look a million times more bland and homogeneous than Bermuda Triangle ever did. And I will remind you that Bermuda Triangle is a clan made up entirely of mermaids, plus one dragon, that became a mermaid. Hell, Bermuda Triangle had a schoolgirl phase at the beginning of G, and still managed to look more interesting and diverse than Lyrical now. But I digress. Let's go ahead and review all of the ride lines for Lyrical Monasterio. And to make things easy, we're just gonna go in set/release order. So first is going to be Kyrie. And to be honest, I don't have a whole lot to say about the base art for the Astasis ride line. All my thoughts are kind of summed up by my little rant at the beginning there. And the LSR art doesn't really change that opinion. We go from really bland Lyrical Monasterio cards to really bland Bermuda Triangle cards. Also, Kyrie's arm in the LSP is like all bent out of shape and I can't unsee it, and it bugs me every time I look at that art. Also, Kyrie is like a white-haired, purple-eyed mermaid in a blue dress, drawn by Takuya Fujima. Just saying. Overall, I give Kyrie a free meep out of 10. Seriously, Melody wasn't doing anything in the EN format. I refuse to suffer for JP's crimes, Bushiroad. Moving on to the main set, we have Clarissa. And unlike Astasis, which was all different units, the 5 ride lines from set 1 are all variations of the same unit. So now we can just have 4 variations of the same character instead of 4 different ones. So, when I was first coming up with this idea, I was like going over all the ride lines in my head, trying to think up comments to make about all of them, and I legitimately forgot that Clarissa even existed. Which is not necessarily a comment about her artwork. I've also not been particularly interested in her playstyle either. As for the art itself, it's kinda grown on me as I've had to stare at it for this video. I think when I originally went into this, I was thinking that Clarissa was kind of generic, and the composition of each artwork was not particularly inspiring, but the more I've had to stare at it over the course of, determining my opinions, and probably while I'm editing this, the more I'm realizing, actually Clarissa is alright. I originally had this whole bit where I was gonna talk about, her lore and how she's an aristocrat from the Dragon Empire, and we could have had, a night-themed idol, which I did talk about on the actual podcast episode that inspired this, but, I just find myself liking Clarissa despite that, so, And as we kind of go down the ride line, we can kind of see, more of Clarissa's unique qualities. So, you start to see more of her dragon figure in, the grade 2 and 1 compared to the grade 3. And you also notice the gradients in her hair more obviously on, the grade 1. And the grade 0 has, a more dynamic pose. You can see, her tail and her scales more obviously. And even the gradients in her hair, so I've come to appreciate the unique aspects of her design that weren't as apparent on the grade 3's base art. And the LSR has also grown on me, despite it being a more generic-looking idol outfit. I give Clarissa a, upon further consideration, I actually kind of like this, out of 10. Up next we have Celestial, and right away I have to give her a bit of credit because the black and white theme she's got going on is pretty striking and helps her to stand out right away. In a nation as bland and homogeneous as Lyrical Monasterio, I think we just take anything we can get. And this theme ties into her playstyle and carries on throughout the rest of her support cards, which I can appreciate. That being said, I feel like I appreciate the concept more than the actual artwork. The grade 3 art doesn't really do anything for me, even the LSR is just oh, happy, shiny idol outfit. Yeah, sure. Whatever, I really do not care about idols all that much. And unlike Clarissa, staring at it more doesn't make it suddenly click with me. The grade 2, I feel like I like in concept more than execution. Again, it's supposed to have this triumphant vibe, I think, with the flavor text, but again, it's just not really clicking with me. I do like the grade 1, it kind of gives her that mysterious vibe. I think that one does work for me. And I think all of the grade 1s generally depict the characters in more casual clothes, so they're not all wearing the same goddamn uniform. And similarly, the grade 0s are all like the characters in dance lessons, so again, there's just actual like different outfits. There are more dynamic poses, things are actually happening in those. Hello, Root Beer from the future here. I actually forgot to give Alestiel a rating the first time I recorded the voiceover, so I'm just going to rate Alestiel a Mume out of 10. If you get it, you get it. And next up we have Laurel. Sorry, thinking about Laurel just put me to sleep for a second. Laurel is the most unique and interesting thing that you could possibly have in Lyrical Monasterio. A moe blob cat girl with black hair. Or is it supposed to be fur? I mean, like, the tail usually, like, matches the hair, and you've got the ears to think about too. I mean, it makes sense, right? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again, just any topic is more interesting than Laurel's artwork. And the LSR does not help this in any way. I think it looks just as bland and generic as the grade 3. The grade 2 is kind of okay. She's like splashing water and she's got the cardigan over her summer uniform. It like probably is the best one out of the 4 artworks. And I usually like the grade 1 and 0 the most out of the 4 artworks, but for Laurel, it just still looks super generic. I don't really know what else to say, I just don't really like Laurel's design. And in lieu of an actual rating, I think I'm just gonna put up this picture of an untoasted piece of bread. I think that sums up my feelings about this card pretty well. Next up, we have definitely not Willista. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like kinda biased towards Willista for a variety of reasons. When we first reviewed Lyrical Set 1, I think we all dunked on Willista for being a worse version of Zorga, who was already like a bottom 3 deck during that time. And then I did my pack opening video for Lyrical Set 1, and I pulled like 5 copies of Willista. And I think I pulled an SP of like some part of the ride line. And so I was like, well, I have a decent number of pieces for this deck, I guess I'm just going to build it now, and I might as well SP out the rest of the ride line too, cause it was super cheap at the time. And the boxes I bought came with a bonus pack of sleeves. They were Willista sleeves. So, naturally, I just put all of my new cards inside of those sleeves. And recently, I just recorded some games with Atlas using all the new Set 2 support. I have no idea when that's going up on the channel, but it's probably after this video. I lost all 3 games, but Willista gave me the most competitive back and forth, and I technically would have won if I didn't deck myself out using the Sapphire skill. So yeah, Willista best girl. And none of that had anything to do with the artwork, which is what we're actually here to talk about. I actually do like Willista's art, by the way. The grade 3 looks bad, but, you know, all of them do, basically. I do really like the LSR, though. Like, her lore is that she's a magician from the Dark States, and I think all of, like, the bright, shiny colors, like the design of the dress, all really fit into that magical vibe. I also like the little touch that she wears her gemstones in her hair. I like it when they tie together the gameplay and art designs like that. I also really like her grade 2 art. Composition-wise, it is one of, if not the most interesting card in all of Lyrical Monasterio. We see her sitting on a ledge looking out towards the city, so we see like the school below and parts of the whale and then the ocean with the sunrise in the background. It's all really pretty. It's just got good vibes, you know? The grade 1 isn't nearly as interesting, although I do like the dress she's wearing, and that dress also has an extra pair of gemstones built into it, so that's pretty neat. And the grade 0 looks fine, you know, it's dance practice like everything else. I give Willista a, I gaslit myself into liking this deck, so obviously I'm going to give it a perfect score, 10 out of 10. And finally for set 1, we have Felty Rosa. I really like Felty Rosa. Her design just ticks a lot of checkboxes for me. I like the color of her hair. It's got that like pale pinkish color that's like almost blonde. I like the red streaks. I like hair antennas. And I like low hanging twin tails. I like the casual outfit that she's wearing in the grade 1 outfit. I think it really suits the whole like vampire thing. And she's got a parasol in her grade 2 outfit for the summertime, which again, on theme. The grade 3 looks really bland because all of them look really bland. And I really like the LSR. Just damn, that artwork. She's standing out in the garden at night, you can see the moon in the background, and she's wearing this black dress with devil horns and wings. It's all super on theme. Her whole thing is that she's supposed to be this vampire Onesama for all of the ghost girls, and she looks the part. You could say that she was a Stoicheia card, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye at that. Overall, Felty Rosa is great, 10 out of 10. That's it for Lyrical Set 1, however, we still have Lyrical Set 2 with 2 more ride lines to talk about. And like Kyrie, the Set 2 ride lines are made up of a bunch of random units instead of 4 variations of the boss card. So I'm probably only going to talk about the grade 3s because I honestly don't care about the rest of them. So first off, we have Herminia, and let me just get this out of the way. Please step on me. There, I did the funny. You can clap now. I do actually like Herminia's art. I think out of all of the ride lines so far, she's the only one that actually looks like a boss unit. Well, I guess except for like the grade 4 Kyrie because Bermuda Triangle player, but whatever. The base art for Herminia actually does have a few interesting things going on, you know? She's got, like, the jacket half off, she's got this, like, turtleneck sweater thing going on, and in general, she's just very, like, tall and imposing, so it manages to take the very bland design of the nation and make it somewhat interesting, at least. She does give off a kind of powerful vibe. It's a shame that the actual deck in-game is anything but powerful. And the LSR is obvious waifu bait. It is a very nice composition, nice lighting. It sure does remind me that I should probably do more art practice. I rate Herminia I can't think of anything funny to say out of 10. And lastly, we have Fortia. Would you like a glass of room temperature tap water to go with your untoasted white bread? I do like the LSR though. It's pretty nice. Oh, and between me starting and finishing this video, Bushiroad announced 6 more ride lines for Lyrical Set 3. None of them inspire anything in me, and honestly, if you told me that half of those were actually trigger arts, I would not question you. I don't know how they managed to make the nation look even more bland between sets, but here we are. Also, one of them has a hashtag in their name, and that just annoys me on a deep, fundamental level. I'll probably end up gaslighting myself into playing the deck. And that is going to be it for the objectively correct Lyrical Monasterio list. I have no idea how I'm going to arrange all of my stupid joke ratings into an actual list, but I guess it'll just be on screen now, cause I have to edit this later. Here it is. My logic is flawless and you cannot argue with me. I am the greatest Lyrical Monasterio player of all time. And just ignore the fact that Bushiroad chose Outer Orange to reveal the Bermuda Triangle Stride. One day, I will have the honor of world premiering a mediocre OTT card. Anyways, that's going to be it for this weird shitpost of a video that I came up with while stuck in traffic. If for some reason you actually like this dumb bullshit, please let me know. Maybe I'll do another one for the rest of the 5 nations. And maybe one day I'll make some actual quality content that people want to watch. Like, I've randomly been thinking about Dust recently, the Zeroth Dragon for Dark Zone, so maybe I'll make a video about that one of these days. Also, some Ripple cards were revealed for V, and I've been sitting on a video about that for like months now. But anyways, thank you to our patrons, Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, and Mewwill. If you want to support our channel, $10 will get you a shout out and early access to new videos, and $5 will get you a whole ass bonus show. You can find us on Twitter at Nexus at Night. You can follow me at Plasma Eclipse. I do art. You can follow Atlas at Atlas Novak. You can follow Matt at Wiggums, 2 G's, 2 Z's. And thank you for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.